that you're about to watch is me discussing the truth and what happens when you're racially profiled and pulled over by the police. This happens to thousands of people across this country on a daily basis. And in the past weeks, the American people have been protesting due to deaths of individuals that should not have died at the hands of police. We're asking for reform. We're asking for change. It's long overdue. So I'm going to give you a little insight on what it's like to be pulled over because you match the description. And I'm also going to address what I feel needs to happen when it comes to changing how police us in this country. It's time to make a change. A few years ago, basically when I was in college, I came home for the summer and I experienced my very first you fit the description experience. At this time, I wasn't really thinking of being targeted through a racial profile or anything like that. Um, but I was. So the first incident that I had, I went to the store for my sister to pick up some things for her because I was staying with her for the summer while I was back at home from college. So after I picked up those items, I got in the car and I was headed back to her apartment. On my way back, maybe 3 or 4 minutes down the road from the store that I was at, I saw the police coming, headed, towards the direction that I was leaving from. This particular officer did a U-turn and turned his lights on, got behind me. I pulled over, and he uh, pulled over along with me. The officer came to the window. Of course, my hands are on the steering wheel. And I asked the officer, may I help him with, what was the problem? Why was he pulling me over? And he tells me, oh, you fit the description of someone that we're looking for. And I said, okay, well, who is it that you're looking for? Why are you looking for this person? Just leaving the store here, and I'm just trying to figure out, why I'm being pulled over. So the officer tells me I fit the description, that they are looking for a black male wearing a red shirt in a white car. Um, yes, I'm a black male. That particular day, I was wearing a shirt that could be seen as red, and not necessarily red. It was actually cardinal, but a form of red. And I was driving a white vehicle. So the officer takes my license and tells me to proceed back to the Walmart in the area where I was just at. I did not go to Walmart. I actually went to the Dollar Tree that was in the same shopping center, but it's completely separate from the Walmart building. So I go to Walmart and I pull up. The officer tells me to just park and wait. As I'm in the car, roll the windows down, hands still on the steering wheel. At this point, I'm shaking and nervous. I realize that I left my cell phone at home. So I am trying to think of phone numbers that I could call just in case I get arrested. I hear a group of individuals saying, "That's him, that's him, that's the guy." At this point, the officer still has my license, so I can see in my mirror that he is showing them my license to show them my picture. So at this point, I'm utterly confused because, like I said, I did not go to Walmart. I went to a store near Walmart. So I hear the officer, talking to another officer that was already on scene, saying, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get this guy out of the car, go ahead and check him, things of that nature. So I immediately get extremely nervous and I blank out. I don't remember any phone numbers. So I'm really, really nervous at this point. Um, as the officer is coming back to the car, someone pulls up and the guy says, "Hey, are you still looking for the guy in the white car?" And they were like, "Yeah, but we got him right here." And they said, "No, we got him right here. This is the guy we're looking for." Well, this particular individual, the way they pulled in, had a good view of the back of my car. Well, it was really my sister's car, and they said, "No, you don't have the right person. The person that you're looking for, because I'm the one that called in, they have a South Carolina license plate." And I told you guys that on the phone call. Um, and also, I told you that the vehicle, told you the type of vehicle that this person was driving, and that isn't the type of vehicle. So the officer returns to the vehicle and says, "Hey, I'm sorry for the mix-up, but it's just a simple case of mistaken identity. So we're just going, so you can go about your day, and I want to apologize for that." Me at the time, not thinking this is an issue of any type of racial profile, and just thinking, hey, they mixed it up. I just happen to be a black man, red shirt, white Ford vehicle. As time went on and I continued to educate myself on the actions of police throughout the years, I realized that a lot of times we fit the description. Um, they get a vague description of a black male, uh, you know, red shirt, whatever it may be. In this case, it was a red shirt, white four-door vehicle. I'm in my hometown, town of maybe 5,000 people. I know pretty much everybody there. I know the police chief. I know the sheriff. I know a lot of police officers. I have family and friends that are on the police force there. And, not really thinking about it. So as years went on, I realized that the you fit the description doesn't really work for me. Um, that was the first instance. Again, not really thinking it was racially motivated or anything like that until years later. My second encounter was again, same town, hometown, home for the summer, working. I'm actually working for a Ford dealership there. And my boss tells me, "Hey, um, get some of the vehicles and just go for a ride and get to know the vehicles and that way when you run into someone that wants to purchase it, you know how to um, tell them about the vehicle and some different features of the vehicle." So that entire day I'm driving different vehicles. um, I get into one of the upper level uh, F-150s that they had, top of the line at the time. So I go, I drive it in this area of town. The street is known as Belleville Avenue. Now, this particular area, this is a very long road. On one end, you have a high school, the YMCA, the hospital, all that's on one end. On the other end, it's predominantly Caucasian and mostly people who are very well off. So I'm in this area driving the car. I've gone up the highway and I decided to come back down that road because it's just easier to avoid traffic and to get back to my job. So I see the police officer get behind me. So I'm just like, okay, cool. I'm not speeding. Music's not loud. Seatbelt on. Got my light. Things like that when we always do when a police officer is behind us and turns the lights on, siren. I pull over. The officer walks to the car and he doesn't say good evening, good day, may I see your license, registration, or anything like that. He says, "Is this your vehicle?" I looked at him and I said, "Officer, no, it's not my vehicle. It has the dealership plate on the back. It's not like wasn't a dealer plate. It was just a piece of paper from the dealer or plastic tag from the dealer with the dealership's name on it. I was like, I work for them. I'm actually just out driving the vehicle, getting to know it because I just started working there, so I'm getting to know the vehicles. Um, and he says, "Well, I need verification that you work there." I said, "Well, of course, I don't have on a shirt with the name on it or anything. Because I just started working there just a few days ago. However, I can call the office and get my boss to verify that I work there." Uh, Questioning goes on about the vehicle. Never asking for my license or anything like that. So I uh, continue to engage in conversation again, hands on the wheel, as my parents have always taught me. All of this is prior to um, the more recent police involved um, shootings or anything like that. So I survive the encounter. I get back to work. I'm just kind of it sticks with me. So I get home and I'm telling my parents about it, and they tell me, you've been profiled. So that was me actually another case of me really learning what profiling was. So again, my family knows the police chief as well as the sheriff there. So our parents make a phone call, and you know, um, they express their concerns to the police chief. I explained to him, what happened, and the officer was fired for racial profiling. This stuck with me. As a kid, I wanted to be a police officer. Uh, and one of the reasons that I kind of changed my choice and degree paths was being targeted by the police for being a black male, you know, in a nicer vehicle. If the officer would have said, "Hey, you don't have a tag on the car," cool. I know that I can explain that. But is this your vehicle? You fit the description. Things like that really stick with you. Um, and in today's society, things like that, unfortunately, in some cases, lead to death. So I fit the description two times in my life. Now, I've had multiple encounters with the police. One encounter with the police actually here in Tampa earlier this year. Was there? No, late last year actually. That was the fifth time I've actually been pulled over by police in my life. Never received a ticket. I don't have a criminal record, anything like that. This particular day, I was pulled over by a Hillsborough County sheriff. Happened to be a black officer, black female officer. I'm nervous. You know, history and as of recent has shown that this may not go well. So at this point, I've already changed how I drive. I have my phone on my vent in front of me on a clip. My license is not in my wallet in my back pocket. It's where I can reach down in front of me and get it so it can be seen. I try to keep my insurance in an area where I won't have to reach inside my glove box. I want to be able to see what I'm doing at all times so that I can survive and make it home in case I'm pulled over by the police. So I have the encounter with the police officer. I'm sweating, shaking. The officer asked me to get out of the car. It was really a simple, get a Florida driver's license, go to court, show them that you got a type deal. But me and the officer did engage in conversation. And she was like, "I can tell you're nervous." And I was like, "Yes." And I began to explain to her my two previous experiences that I had where I was profiled, as well as, of course, things that have gone on in recent years as to why I would be nervous. And it kind of shocked me as what the officer told me. She said, "Well, you can see I'm a black female officer. Of course, I'm just doing my job today, and I'm not, going to harm you. Uh, I'm actually just going to give you this, let you go about your day." But She said, as a black female, when I'm not on duty, the same way you're feeling when a police officer gets behind you or pulls you over is the same way I feel. And it kind of shocked me that even an officer that does this on a daily basis has the exact same fear that I have as just a everyday citizen. So that brings me to this point of how can we fix it? Uh, One area that I feel that we can fix it would definitely be extensive, extensive de-escalation training. Uh, I kind of did some research on some different things, and I feel like if police officers go through the level of de-escalation training that our military um, has to go through, I feel like they'll be better trained for it. Um, you know, these men and women have a lot of different situations thrown at them, but they go through every level of de-escalation possible before they pull a trigger in some cases. Let's say, of course, they're being shot at, and at that point, it's completely different. Um, so I feel like that would definitely help. I feel like these are civil servants. Doctors are civil servants, teachers are civil servants. Uh, I want to be a lawyer. That's considered to be a civil servant. One thing that all these jobs have in common, you have to obtain a 4-year degree. At minimum, for to be a teacher is a 4-year degree with a teaching certificate, and then of course a lawyer and a doctor have professional schools that they have to go through. So my question is, why is it that our police officers do not have to go get some type of degree in criminal justice where they learn about in depth more about what it is that they're going into do, where they have to learn in depth the laws that they're supposed to be holding and keeping up with, and why is it that they are continually having to go back and get more education on the laws and different things, and so I feel like maybe we should implement some type of standard where they have to go obtain a 4-year degree, and in this 4-year degree, they're also being taught about de escalation training as well as they're learning the laws. It based the common law that we have to learn in law school, just common law. You know, Another way that I feel like this can be addressed is people. It may seem unpopular to a lot of people, but to me, it's too common in the education field. They defund education pretty much every year. So why is it such a big deal when we say defund the police? In my view, I'm not saying get rid of the police because we do need some type of force in place to maintain law and order. Uh, but I am saying it is possible for us to take some of those funds, put it into schools, put it into community programs so that we would limit, you know, people being put in situations sometimes where they have to have that encounter with the police. Put it into programs where you have a community policing event so that people can get to know the police officers that are going to be actually in their areas. They're going to see them on a daily basis. I know that may be harder in a major city, but if you're assigned to an area, that's really not that hard. Host an event on the weekend, have a few officers out, do it again in a few weeks, have some more officers out, so that we have an opportunity to get to know these officers. Coming from a small town where I knew a lot of the officers, for me, that was a big help. They kind of encouraged me to want to be a police officer, but like I said, over time that changed due to different reasons. But those are just some of the areas that I feel like we can, at least start. I like to. I see that the conversations are happening. Some things are starting to change as far as like oversight committees. I feel like those are definitely necessary, and it does need to be internal affairs. Um, I know for lawyers, they have to sit before the bar in their state if they are, something goes wrong. And the bar is not biased. They will drop the hammer on you if you've done something wrong. You also have with doctors, they have malpractice insurance, as do attorneys. If you mess up, it's coming out of your pocket. Yeah, I have malpractice insurance, but guess what? That insurance rate's going to skyrocket after I have to use it. I'm still being penalized financially. There has to be some other level of accountability that isn't internal. It has to be an external review. So I'm definitely for that as well. But the things that have been going on here recently, in many cases, could be avoided through de-escalation training, um, and other means. Hopefully, maybe just the areas that I addressed here. I know there are a lot of different ones being addressed. Uh, I feel like those are some of the main ones that do need to be addressed. Uh, so, hope you guys kind of enjoyed, not really enjoyed, but learned something from my experiences through being profiled and engaging with police. I remain respectful through all of those, and I made it home. One thing I don't feel like should be my goal every time I go out should be, don't get pulled over by the police, and if you do, make it home safe. Not something that I should have to really worry about. I'm 28. You know, at the time when all this was happening, I was what, 18, 19, maybe 20 at the most. So, I mean, I've learned. Uh, I've adjusted how I engage with the police when I get pulled over. I don't even put my, like, grasp the steering wheel anymore. I put my wrists on the top of the steering wheel, hand palms out, facing towards the windshield. So, you know, those are just some things that need to be addressed. But I just wanted to do this video today to kind of engage that, um, and hopefully the conversations continue to happen around this country, and we'll see improvements soon. But um, hopefully next video will be on a lighter note. I know the past few really haven't been. So I just want to say tomorrow is Juneteenth, and to the people who know who this is that are definitely going to be celebrating, happy Juneteenth. Enjoy your day. And to those who don't know what it is, I'm actually going to include a link in the description for you to go do some research on Juneteenth. And hopefully, with the push for this to become a national holiday, that will happen as well. But until next time, guys, you guys stay blessed, stay safe. Love you guys. Peace.